Have you ever felt stuck because of past decisions? Unable to move forward because things aren't working out? Well, you're not alone.
Today, we're diving into the sunk cost fallacy. If you haven't heard of it, stick around because you may be falling prey to it without even realizing it. If you're new here, I'm Ange and this is Sporty.
Welcome to Mostly Mindful, where we help Gen Xers and beyond to live simply and age with intention.
Today we're talking about a psychological trap that keeps many of us stuck. It's called the sunk cost fallacy.
Whether it's a project you've committed to, a relationship you're in, or even a cluttered home, understanding this concept will help you make better decisions and live a more intentional life.
So what exactly does this have to do with minimalism? Well, the thing is that when you hold on to stuff, whether it's a relationship or an item or a project that you're working on and you don't want to let go of it, but it's no longer adding value to your life, it essentially creates clutter, either in your home or in your mind.
Today we're going to share some practical tips on how to recognize and break free from the sunk cost fallacy so you can live a more intentional and happy life.
The first step is to actually recognize that you are in the grips of the sunk cost fallacy. That's probably the most important thing. So how do we do this?
We ask ourselves, is this something that is bringing me joy and that I can carry on doing?
Or is it just something that you're hanging on to because you've invested your time or your money or your whatever into?
Yeah.
I think that's the distinction to make to begin with. Are you holding on to something for the right reasons? And you really need to practice a little bit of honesty here.
Yeah, so if you recognize that you're not enjoying something, try and figure out why you're still doing it. So one example that I think most of us can relate to is exercise equipment or gym equipment. A lot of us have exercise stuff lying around that we never use, but because number one, we've spent money on it, and number two, we feel guilty because we're not using it.
It weighs on the back of your mind, really, because it's sitting there yakking at you. Like you've got a treadmill that you spend a huge amount of money on. It's just gathering dust, and now it's acting as a clothes horse or whatever those things are, and you feel guilty.
And just because it costs a lot of money doesn't mean it has to stay there.
Tip number 2 is to evaluate the true cost. Here's where you weigh up the cost of keeping something versus getting rid of it.
Yeah, and of course it goes without saying that a lot of the time the cost is not directly related to the money you spent. You know, it's the mental bandwidth cost, it's the happiness cost,
the being weighed down by guilt cost,
and the clutter cost.
Once you've learned to recognize this fallacy and then figured out how to evaluate the cost, the next step is to just start. Or, as we like to say in our house, rip that band-aid off.
Yes. Just get to it, because we all know the things that we're holding on to that we don't have to.
It's time for a CTJ, as a friend of ours used to say. You need to have a tough conversation with yourself and just start. But at the same time, I mean, do it slowly. Like you don't have to declutter your entire home or your entire life in one weekend. But the important thing is that you start. Pick one thing. Let us know in the comments what it is, and we will help you and motivate you along the way.
Yes, our favorite thing to do. So just bouncing off what Ange said about just getting started, you'll see as you go what the benefits are of letting go, and then it'll become easier and easier and you'll be able to tackle bigger and bigger things. Remember, minimalism is about the journey and not the destination.
The last tip is to focus on the present. Don't ruminate about the past. Think about what you want your life to look like now and moving forward, and focus on that.
So letting go of the past can be tough, but it's really about making space for new experiences and opportunities. And that pretty much wraps it up. So as usual, let us know in the comments below if you have been subject to the sunk cost fallacy, and share and like the video, And subscribe if you're new here, obviously.
Yeah, unfortunately there won't be any bloopers with this one. It was very slickly produced.
Very slick today.
Yeah, we just like...
it's one take.
Yeah.
One take video.
Yeah.
That's us. Mostly Mindful. One take videos here at Mostly Mindful.
Yeah, I mean, we really are quite professional these days.
It's just the best.
Yeah. So with that, keep it simple, keep it fun, and age with intention. Bye! You can do it. Have ever. That's fine. Sporty has to practice saying the sunk cost fallacy because it doesn't roll off her German tongue.
Like, why do you have to have a K and a K? Sunk cost. I want to put EN, sunken cost.
From her. Don't leave that out, please.
Hobbes of costs.
It's a sportyism, by the way.
Loads. I'm going to say this because it's in the script, but I don't like it.
What?
Remember, minimalism is a destination. It's not a journey. Remember, minimalism is a journey. It's not a destination. Off the horse. Remember.
Off the horse. You were on the horse because you didn't like the words.
We're both on the same horse.
I'm driving.
You're driving the horse.
It's such a cliche, Sporty.
You're doing the whole next thing.
Okay.
2 sentences. 3 sentences you're doing. I just thought I'd give you an option.
That's such a top. Maybe I should say this line because you can't say sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah, please. But now it's all over the place. It's like littered through the through the wrap up.
Sunk cost fallacy.